can't be right. I refuse to believe this game came out in 2010 or 2021.
Maybe it came out simultaneously across both timelines.
Maybe it's the time that the company has been in. It,
Well, you said there's like 6 of these games, right? Maybe that's when the first one
yeah,
came
like
out.
maybe it's like covering all that time. But okay, whatever.
Yeah.
That
Or
doesn't explain why it goes up to 2021.
right, I was gonna say, or we're living in the bad timeline, and 2010 is where it branched. I don't know.
You said something about maybe existing at the same time, and you made me think of the Watchmen series from HBO.
Strung together, united forever. They're the best of friends. So
I
Nick,
could have watched a Saturday morning cartoon of that. Go on.
I absolutely would too. Big development this week. I need to hear more about this new gaming PC, your plans for it, and when it's set to arrive.
Oh, boy, that's okay. So we're gonna wrap this up tonight, hopefully.
Okay.
I just need to get back to the beginning of the game. Because there's the, I think, fourth and final crest piece I need to pick up, which mercifully gives us the power of warping between bells.
Nice.
So that'll make things easier.
Yeah, that's always a helpful thing.
So yeah, I stopped by a local computer store here in town because, I mean, I've had like 5 gigs left on my 200 gig hard drive for the longest time, and it's like, all right, I have to do something about this.
It's time
right?
it's time for some upgrades. Yeah.
Everything there seemed unsatisfactory, so I mean, I took your build advice from cyberpc.com.
Yeah.
And $1,500 later, maybe I got a good PC coming, maybe I don't.
I think you do, and I think a large part of that is that we're finally starting to bounce back from this accursed chip shortage that's plagued us since COVID began. And when you approached me the other day, you sent me the specs, and for the price of $1,400, which should get you a respectable rig under any circumstances. I saw that it was only including a GTX 1050, and my thought is like, man, this chip shortage is absolutely horrible, and you shouldn't settle for that. But then it dawned on me that like there were a couple of places offering some relatively new GPUs for not that heavy of a markup. So I did some exploring on CyberPower PC, and lo and behold, on their front page they had a Cinco de Mayo sale, and they happened to have one with a 3060 Ti, which is leagues better than what you were initially looking at.
Well, I had to do a double take when I started doing the math because, God, I hate computer shopping. I truly do.
Yeah,
but I was like, wait a sec, these are not in the same league whatsoever.
No,
the 1050
you're looking at
360.
2 whole generations and about 6 years apart. Or 5 years.
Then
apart.
It got me wondering: is this an error on the seller's side here?
That's
in
what
town,
I was thinking too.
Or do they just have some big audacity?
Probably both. I think for a smaller local computer place, they probably have to charge a little bit more for parts and labor because it's
But for a 1050,
I agree.
Here's the thing: is I have a 1050 Ti in my computer right now.
Yeah, so you could have literally just asked them if you could just buy the rig and put your existing graphics card into it when you got home. But there too, I mean, if your goal is to run Elden Ring respectably, you want something.
I need
from
at
the
least
20 series. Yeah,
I need at least the 360 to do that.
Yeah.
Trust me, I figured all that out.
Yeah, no, and like you said, it's not just a 3060; it's a 3060 Ti, which has a little more horsepower.
So there's some controversy with that about how irritated people had gotten when, like, oh, the new 1050 is out, and then they made the 1050i immediately afterwards.
Oh, well, yeah, that's just kind of NVIDIA's game. I mean, as long as you're prepared for it, all it really does is make it so that you have to look a little bit closer when you buy something to see what you're getting. Because, there's plenty of people out there who will charge TI prices for the base model. And
it sounds pretty shiesty to me still.
Oh, absolutely. But that's, after you've been building. Well, I learned to build PCs from our friends in college, who I won't name on the show for privacy's sake, but that was the first PC I ever built, was in '08, and honestly, I feel like the naming conventions and just like the sheer amount of like junk that was out there was probably more confusing then than it is now, or maybe that's just because I've been dealing with it longer. But yeah. But no, you've got a respectable rig coming, and I think it's going to serve you well for a while.
If I get what I pay for, is the trick.
Yeah.
Seems like the biggest...
Cyber power is akin to like a brick and mortar like mega giant. I mean, there's no profit in them sending you the wrong rig or the wrong parts. I mean, you could absolutely go to their customer service and request a full refund and give them a nasty review, and they'd have to live with that. You
can do all those things hypothetically, but as a tax preparer, I can tell you can have a support system, but if you decide to make that good and obtuse so that nobody can navigate it, it doesn't do you much good. And that's kind of what I had heard. I've heard that if you get the product that you ordered, it's a really good value for your dollar, but their customer service is horrible. So apparently that 3 years of tech support is basically useless.
Yeah. Well, so what you'll want to do is, before you install anything or change anything on it, just crack open the hood, take a look at all the parts, and even just open up your system specs using Windows and make sure you absolutely got what you paid for.
I mean, if I've even got a tech friend in town who will try to just have a look at it, but if I get everything, if nothing gets jostled, I'm really nervous about the shipping. But if nothing gets jostled in shipping and everything looks good, I'll be a happy camper for $1,500.
I was gonna say like that's probably. I mean, that's probably close to the price that you would have paid buying all of the individual parts and assembling them yourself, assuming that you could get everything for retail. Like I think you got a genuine bargain by hitting up the Cinco de Mayo.
On top of that, I changed it up a little bit from what you had sent me, and
what changes did you end up making?
Not a whole lot. I can't remember. I did go with keeping the integrated graphics card just because I don't know if you've heard this, but what is this, like a skeleton Maytag repairman?
Yep.
What was that?
It's a living.
You had suggested against getting the integrated graphics card, but one, if your external goes down, you're pretty much out of luck, so it's nice as a backup. But two, I've read that if Intel has their way, they're going to do a lot more to promote offloading onto the integrated card.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that could pay dividends in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those things like, how much do you need to save $50, Nick?
Right. Well, so my goal in doing those things was basically to get it back down to your roughly $1,400 initial budget to make it more attractive. But yeah, I mean, if you had the extra $100 to blow, then you blew it in the right place. Like the big things were assuming that you got the free upgrade to the 800-watt power supply. That's just a nice safety net to have if you ever upgrade anything else in that rig. And then what else was there? I think there was a.
Is that Tom Selleck?
That could be. He's not looking great, but
looks like he's fine.
But then there was also, I think, like a free memory upgrade. Was that correct? Like a 1 terabyte hard drive?
Yeah, it was a 16 to 32 RAM.
Oh, the RAM upgrade. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, 32 gigs of RAM is. Well, I mean, it's really nice to have right now, but I would be willing to guess that in 2 to 3 years, it'll probably just be the new standard. Like 16 gig is the new standard for gaming now, up from 8 gigs, and 32 is just going to be the natural progression.
Right.
So again, maybe like a hair more expensive, but you're future-proofing yourself.
That's the way I look at it. I mean, again, my current computer is, 12, maybe 14 years old?
You got a hell of a good life out of that thing.
I will not debate you on that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm really excited for you, just to see how it turns out.
Good or
Especially
bad,
considering
you'll be the first one to hear about it.
Yeah, exactly, because I'm the one who sold you. But no, I'm like I said, I plan to make my next PC purchase through CyberPower. The fuck is that thing?
Horrible mimic.
Why? Why is he?
Do I even need to? You know what? We're gonna take him out from a distance.
I was gonna say you can't not kill him. Look at him.
I keep thinking I'm playing Rogue's Legacy 2, and I keep thinking I want to just bounce on his head, but
nope.
Have you looked that game up yet?
No, I haven't.
But
in my defense, this week has been a freaking bear.
Oh, Spikes, wonderful.
Spikes. I had a district conference, 2 sermons, a funeral. Good times.
Really getting their money's worth out of you before.
Yeah, right. The week before my sabbatical begins, everything goes to hell. Oh.
I don't have to fight you. Oh God.
I don't have to fight you. Though today was actually pretty mellow by comparison. I took the afternoon off because I didn't have Monday off, and did Mother's Day shopping for Sarah. Had a nice lunch all by myself, which I haven't done in a while, and then what else did I? Oh, I watched the new gaming historian video about Super Mario World. That brought me right back to the 90s. Damn, those spikes.
I'm stuck in Rogue Legacy mode here.
Where's my damn pogo stick from what was that game with Scrooge McDuck?
So I think it was called Scrooge McDuck, the novelization.
The novelization.
It's been a long week. That's what I got. No, that was just literally DuckTales.
Oh, it was just called
Right?
DuckTales? Okay. I wasn't sure if it had a special name like Scrooge in Space or something like that.
Not to be confused with the other DuckTales game where you play as Scrooge McDuck and he teaches you how to responsibly manage your money. This is a real thing.
I believe it. Growing up not growing up, but like as a younger child, I distinctly remember mentally marrying in my heads the character of Scrooge McDuck and just plain old Ebenezer Scrooge from A Christmas Story, or not a Christmas Story.
I mean, one was
Christmas
based
Carol.
on the other.
Yeah, right. But no, I always loved that because the version of A Christmas Carol that I grew up with, like many '90s children, was the Muppets one, and Michael Caine in that movie. Like it's like people forgot to tell him that he was acting opposite of Muppets, and he gave like the best fucking Ebenezer Scrooge performance on camera. and so whenever I would see Scrooge McDuck, I would just think of Michael Caine, and that's kind of where I was going with that joke.
You keep saying Michael Caine, but I keep hearing in my head Michael Keaton.
No, not Michael Keaton, definitely. Michael Caine. Not the guy who played Batman, but the guy who played Alfred in the Nolan trilogy. But all I can think of is Scrooge McDuck saying, yes, tax season. Harvest time for the moneylenders. But in Scrooge McDuck's voice.
I've never seen what you're referencing, but
You've never seen the Muppet Christmas Carol?
No.
Oh my God. You should watch it and let me
There's
know
a lot
if
of
it's
Muppet stuff I haven't seen.
Let me know if it's as genuinely good as I think it is, or if it's just childhood nostalgia. But I think not only did Michael Caine give a stellar performance, but it was a genuinely heartwarming rendition of that tale.
I have gone back and watched like a number of movies and games back from the 90s just out of curiosity, like, is this nostalgia or is it good? And
yeah, right.
I gotta say, a lot of the time I legitimately come back saying, it's just legitimately good.
Yeah, right. There's some stuff from childhood that just wasn't bad. And that's how I feel about the Muppet Christmas Carol. So just pour yourself a nice bourbon and sit in your apartment firm in the knowledge that you're a 36-year-old man watching a Muppet Christmas Carol.
Which one of us is living in an apartment?
Oh, that's right. You live in a house. That's right.
Yeah.
In my mind, like I said, in my mind,
Chris.
it's still 2010, Nick. You live in an apartment, and I live in Fort Wayne.
There's that number again, 2010.
Yep. Back when I still signed checks to pay for things, which the last time I did that was 2015. I literally wrote 2010 on the check because, like, that's apparently where I peaked. That's like my default year.
Oh, I still use my checkbook religiously. I refuse to let anything auto pay out of my bank account.
Oh, yeah, I don't necessarily use auto pay, but I pay electronically so that I have an instant feedback from my bank saying that it either went through, was declined, or charged incorrectly.
Okay, alright, I can see that.
Yeah. I mean, I know not a lot of folks who do electronic payments religiously pay attention to the receipts, but I'm so paranoid after some bad transactions that I definitely do. Like, I actually, like, after I pump gas, like, if I say I want 25 on, you know, pump 5, and for some reason, like, I fill up and it was only, like, 23.50, I make sure that that transaction gets changed to 23.50 before I leave the parking lot.
Oh, see, okay, that's the difference then between us. I do essentially the same thing, it's just that I reconcile my books at the end of the month for everything. So, same thing, just a little different, because that's what I do at work, and I have no idea how to do it besides just monthly reconciliations.
Yeah. Are we talking about balancing our checkbooks on Play the
It's exciting stuff.
God, we are old. We're seriously old. We're aged.
We can either talk about balancing our checkbooks, or we can talk... No, I want the... It's not the item I'm looking for. This is the second to last place.
Okay.
Hey, we can either talk about balancing our checkbooks, or we can talk about the HBO series Watchmen. Pick your poison, friends.
Actually, I'm curious to get some of your thoughts on Watchmen. I enjoyed that miniseries.
What were your thoughts?
Say that again?
What were your thoughts?
Let's see here. So, obviously there was an attempt to, in the same way that Alan Moore's original was kind of a superhero commentary on Cold War era policies. This is kind of a 21st century superhero commentary on, like, for instance, like the Black Lives Matter movement and all kinds of other current issues. But what I found interesting about it was that it did something kind of interesting where, like, I actually found some of the new characters to be more interesting than the familiar faces that they brought back, with the sole exception being freaking Ozymandias, who was absolutely the best part of the series in my mind.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
What were your thoughts? But no, so my overall my thoughts were its strengths were not in its commentary, but in its core cast.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yes, it definitely had a message of some kind that it was trying to convey, and I don't know what that message was.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of got lost in the fray by the last episode.
Oh, no!
Wait, she'll bounce back.
No, we're not bouncing all the way back up. That's just not gonna happen.
This ain't no Super Mario Brothers.
But, yeah, I just finished it today.
Oh.
What a massive piece of shit. No,
Nick Weber, ladies and gentlemen.
Becoming predictable. I am conflicted. I will say this. I hated it, but I, for some reason, still place it above the Batman. Merely because I had to think more about it. I don't
understand your logic, because the last time we talked, you liked the Batman.
I liked the Batman. It was a candy bar that I consumed, enjoyed, and then will never ever think about again.
But you hated The Watchmen and rank it above.
I hated it, but I had to sit there and think and engage with it. Why do I hate this? That's fair, right?
Okay.
I liked some.
It made you think. I understand that.
Where are my arrows going?
I don't know. I can only assume the eye of God on the wall there is absorbing them somehow.
All right, you know what?
Oh wait, no, that's just a falling projectile. I thought that was going to be like hugely significant to the story, like you've just discovered, you know, Beelzebul, and no, it's just
he just falls.
He just falls. His whole thing is he falls on you. It looks so unknowable and eldritch, you know, and then it just falls on you.
He was waiting. Got to kill another one of these Maytag.
For millennia have I waited for you, fair maiden, and now she's gone.
I don't remember this part of the castle being this big. This is like the Thunderbird Temple from Legend of Zelda 2.
Yeah, I could feel it. But yeah,
Okay.
no. So going back to Watchmen. Yeah,
I
I
loved
found
the
myself.
first episode.
Yeah. Well, it
The
set up a
more-
really intriguing premise, which I
was
wasn't
all on
fully
board.
satisfied with how it delivered. But like I said, there were some genuine like moments of character development and introspection in that series that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Particularly
I'll say
from
this.
Ozzy.
I have a theory. And that theory is that this started as someone's horrible fan fiction where they wanted to write themselves into the Watchmen universe and make Dr. Manhattan fall in love with them. Like, that struck me as just like a horrible
Oh yeah,
fan
Dr.
fiction.
Manhattan was disappointing. Oh, so what was your thought about the ending? Did she become Dr. Manhattan? Or
I didn't
know
give
they
a
left
shit.
it
I was looking at my
intentionally.
watch and trying to see how many minutes were left, and I was like, let's just get this over with. I could not give a fig.
But yeah, so my theory about that is, and I know you don't give two shits about it in the grand scheme of things, but my theory is that Dr. Manhattan, who his whole thing by the time the original Watchmen ended was that he was so detached from humanity and had become so much of a living, walking god that he couldn't be bothered to see the human plight, and he saw like all time as happening at once. Why the hell then would he have like this moment in the future, if all time is singular to him, where he falls in love and gives up his life for love? My thought is that he thought the solution was to make the world Dr. Manhattan, and I can't even remember her name, the female lead,
Jessica Abar.
sure, she's the one who was like the first, right? So she ate the egg. She did become Dr. Manhattan, but my thought is that she doesn't get to like necessarily retain herself. It's all just going to be Dr. Manhattan, which is extremely dystopian, but I think it's on the money for Watchmen, and I prefer that to the ending we got.
Yeah, okay.
Where it turns out Dr. Manhattan did just he was just this love-struck sap at the end of the day, and which again I don't mind if a character like sacrifices themselves for love or anything. That's been the movement of a lot of plot lines, but for Dr. Manhattan it just makes no sense. So my thought is like she is his way of converting all of sentient existence to himself. And so like his death isn't really a death. It's all just going to be him at the end of the day.
I think you way overthought that. I fully expected
Well, if you eat an egg and become a god, like, and you get the makeup of a god, right? What's going to be left? You're like weak, human, flimsy, frail composition, or the god? Probably the god.
I just assumed that because he says, what was it? You need to see the water because it'll be important later. I just assumed she was going to look down at her reflection and see Dr. Manhattan, and it was going to be he was still alive. That's
Essentially what I'm arguing.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. This actually kind of falls into my theory, in that I feel like this whole series was built around like a short story or fan fiction someone had. Because there's two really good like dead serious, because like, you know, sometimes you just have a starting point, you don't know where to go with it. There were two standout episodes, the one about Hooded Justice,
Oh yeah, that was fantastic.
and the one about
Mr. Mirror.
God walks into a bar.
Yep.
Those were two really well done episodes. Like, I liked the gimmicks with those, and I get the feeling that they came up with those first and they built the series around it. That's why everything felt so tacked on. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. I will say I enjoyed I figured out what happened with Ozzy a little bit before. I mean, they intended you to. I figured out what happened with Ozzy a little bit before the actual reveal of what happened to him. But I thought, I don't know. I guess more than like the actual character situation that he was in. I just loved. Oh my gosh, what's his name?
Oh my god.
Oh
I knew
no,
I would choke on the last hit. Choked on the last hit.
the actor who played Ozymandias. He's a wonderful actor, and I can't.
Jeremy
believe it.
Irons.
Thank you, Jeremy. I just love Jeremy Irons' performance. Like I love all of Jeremy Irons' performances. Yeah, his utter disregard for his autonomous maid and manservants. That was good.
I was like just irritated with all the Ozymandias stuff because it's like, what is going on? Like, because it was like we're on like episode 7 and I have no idea what the plot is or what the stakes are. I'm like, okay, come on, guys, you need to bring this home.
I feel like at the end of everything, the series would have been richer had Ozymandias had his way, but I felt that about the original Watchmen too, and he did get his way. But I was kind of hoping for a sort of tongue-in-cheek repeat of the original ending, where, you know, yeah, everything technically turns out, but it's only because Ozzy planned it to turn out. Instead, it just kind of fell apart for him at the last possible second, where it's like, oh yeah, you're totally under arrest now. Like, whatever.
Ozymandias couldn't stop. I'm not even gonna bother. Ozymandias couldn't stop a citizen's arrest, just as Doc Manhattan couldn't avoid a bunch of rednecks.
Yeah, right, a bunch of redneck police officers. Yeah.
He could plan to stop nuclear war, but he couldn't stop a bunch of.
And going back to that, I know you kind of hate that central plot line, but I really do think that was the whole point. That the reason he allowed this to happen is because, like, the physical form that he had been occupying was too limiting. And it's kind of like an Agent Smith from the Matrix thing, where he's just going to be all in all, basically. Which is kind of the end goal of, you know, any deity, right? That they should be all in all.
That still requires a character rewrite of Dr. Manhattan doesn't care about anything.
Well, no, I think making that the actual thing that happened at the end of the day would be less of a strange rewrite than him just deciding one day, oh yeah, I totally love this chick and I'm gonna give my life for her. I mean, sure, but who cares? What a contrived, boring.
I had even more of a theory on that, because I don't even know if they have the rights to like show the Watchmen, because they go way out of their way not to show any of the original Watchmen's faces. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I kind of took that as them not wanting to lean too much on, like, people's recognition of the original cast of heroes. Like, oh,
do you remember in the first episode
now
where
Night
they
Owl's
flew around
coming
in
back.
Archie's Owlmobile?
Wait, say that again?
Do you remember in the first episode where they flew around in Archie's Owlmobile?
Yes.
Out of nowhere?
Yeah, why the hell not?
I just felt like if they just would have done their own little series and not have it be Watchmen, it might have been more enjoyable.
Well, see, I think that's kind of what they were aiming for. I don't know how well they succeeded, because, you know, they had Silk Spectre, who was just an unpleasant character in that one.
What was the point to that? There was nothing for her to do in the series.
There was not, no, other than just having her be, like, the token female badass.
He didn't have to be there.
But there was already a token female badass, so I don't know.
Right. It just, like I said, it just that's what irritated me, because it just felt like a bunch of baffling decisions of the core mechanics here are good. Just what they did with them, I didn't like.
Well,
you know what I mean?
One complaint
I wanted to like it.
One complaint I do have about the series is that the one original Watchman that I would really like to know what happened to, Night Owl, you get nothing.
I was okay with that. I was fine with that.
But, like, out of all the characters to bring back, I mean, that would be the one that I would actually be... Because he was the straight man, right? He was the one who was, like, actually doing it for heroic principles. And whether they portrayed him as, like, a, you know, completely burnt out, like, shell of a man, or everything worked out okay, I'd be kind of interested in seeing that.
I was willing to give all that a pass, because I absolutely loved Looking Glass. I thought that was
Looking
a neat
Glass,
character.
not Mr. Mirror. He was great. He was a really...
And they didn't and they just didn't do anything with it.
No, they didn't, and I wish he would actually get his own. I hate to call it a spin-off. It's kind of like you said, like they don't even need to call it Watchmen. I just want a series kind of exploring more of his particular brand of crime-fighting justice, you know?
Just the idea, by the way, they couldn't ever say the Ku Klux Klan because
Right.
if you do, they can legally sue the fuck out of you because they own the brand name.
Hilarious in 2022 when you think about it, but that's okay.
But yeah, so but anyways, I loved the initial concept of like, because now here's my thing, was this pre or post George Floyd?
I think
because I think it was just before.
Well, actually, I think it was filmed just before and released just after, which is what made it so
because I was looking at that perspective.
Watched. Yeah,
and I was like, there is something weirdly prescient about this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I thought that was neat, but the idea of masked cops fighting the Klan, that was a neat gimmick for a while. I wish they had kind of did more with that, and then it just turns out.
Yeah, overall, it's kind of interesting because I can see what you mean about like the Watchmen branding sort of being what held the series back.
Like they had access to the IP and they had to use it.
Yeah, you're right, because they did have some really interesting plot ideas that didn't necessarily have to revolve around the Watchmen mythos. Like the Refordation. It's almost like an American History X sort of plot line.
I will say I was expecting the solution to it to be... I really thought they were going to drop another alien monster on Tulsa, Oklahoma to like unite.
See, again,
to solve, like by episode 6 I was sitting there praying like, oh my god, they're gonna solve racism by dropping another alien.
Again, I feel like it would have ended better had Ozymandias come out on top again.
I'm sure he got away, Chris. That's
I don't like I feel like they gave him comeuppance that he didn't really need, Like the whole point of the ending of Watchmen is that yes, he won, but he has to live with the cost forever, right? And then they show him in the series living with the cost, basically having kind of driven himself mad, and now kind of having a glimmer of hope for redemption, and they just take it away at the last minute.
They had to have Silk Spectre do something. They had the rights to the
stupid
name.
though. What she did was stupid.
Like I said, that's what was maddening to me, is just of all the things you could have done, that's what you did with it.
You squandered Jeremy Irons, and you want to tell me to be okay with this? Overall, like it's not my favorite thing ever, but I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would when it was announced.
Yeah, and like I said, I know I said I hated it, but the thing is I liked what it tried to do. Didn't think it quite did it, but it got me thinking, and that's not that's a compliment.
Maybe some of my constant positivity about the media's willingness to try is rubbing off on you.
I appreciate when there's like an effort is made and an interesting idea is put forward, even if it doesn't quite work. Did I like Mario Color Splash? No, but they did something different.
Wait, what? Mario what?
Paper Mario Color Splash.
Okay. I thought this was like a new like Mario platformer that I completely overlooked. It
was a random reference that,
Or like you married Mario Sunshine with Sonic Colors or something.
Now, I do have to ask, because maybe you found this out, and this was bothering me. What did Rorschach's journal have to do with anything? There was like one throwaway line about Rorschach's journal. What was going on there?
So the well, what's their names? The other dudes.
The Seventh Cavalry.
Yeah,
right?
they're the ones who found who saw his journal published and became obsessed with his ideology, right? I mean, like that was pretty much it, as far as I could tell.
Is that what it was? They were racist because Rorschach told them?
Yeah, like they read Rorschach
the
stuff and they're like, oh man,
how to hate
alt-right is fucking awesome.
Okay. Because
that's not going to be our episode title.
that's what I thought at first, and then like the senator guy's like, yeah, and then we randomly found out by accident Doc Manhattan was living with you because
Oh
he
yeah, that's right.
teleported our
That's right.
guy.
Yeah. So
It's
Rorschach's
like, are you
journal played a
retconning your
role.
own
Yeah.
story? But
Yeah.
okay.
No. Like
Alright.
they basically read his stuff and and he told the truth about well, like what was going on with Doctor Manhattan, and
Okay.
basically it recounted the plot all the way up until the end. So like the only thing that wasn't in there was the fact that Ozymandias was playing everybody.
I feel like you could have cut a lot of fat out of there. I feel like you could have cut out all the stuff with like Lady True. Like we didn't need two separate factions trying to capture Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
could've
You
slimmed
know
it
the
down.
funny thing is, until you said her name, I had completely forgotten about her presence in the story, because she was supposed to be like the new Ozzy, but we already had Ozzy, so.
And then in the last episode, they're like, "But she is Ozzy because he's her daughter for some reason."
Yeah, it was
For
stupid.
some reason.
It really was. It was a stupid plot thread that really didn't contribute anything other than kind of like a aha moment, and not even a very good one. I think they just wanted a more like callous, straight villain for the series to fall back on.
But they already shot all of Jeremy Irons' scenes, and they couldn't get him to come back,
Right.
so they had to fix it in editing.
So they added Lady True to help spice things up.
That's what it was. They had to fix it in editing because he wouldn't come back.
Well, but again, though, like he even stops her. Like he's about to have a redemption arc, and they just fucking strip it away for no real reason other than like, hey, Silk Spectre's still a hard ass, har har. Ugh.
You know, the thing is you could have just had like Looking Glass, and you could have combined Looking Glass and Silk Spectre into
That's
one
true.
character.
Like her plot arc and his were basically pulling at the same threads. Only he was the much more interesting character.
Yeah.
Oh man, like another part that I loved, his whole like conversion from like fundamentalist to extremist was I enjoyed that. To like paranoid, you know, tinfoil
Dale
hat wearing
Gribble.
conspiracy. Yeah, like Dale Gribble on steroids. That's exactly what he was. God, if only they had named him Gribble.
That would have been a bit too on the nose, right?
I don't know. I honestly don't think that the writers thought that they were imitating Dale Gribble. At least not based on the level of pretense they showed otherwise. Like, no, Dale Gribble was imitating us retroactively. How dare he
Speaking of
parody
Dale
us?
Gribble, did you know Fox is releasing a Mario Kart-esque racing game for their Fox properties?
And the King
And
of
Hank-
the Hill cast is in there.
Hank Hill is confirmed to be in
Oh,
it.
thank you, God. We're gonna be
Which
playing
makes
that on
me
Play
ask,
the
what
Hits.
is the demographic for that? Like, what
Play the hits.
12-year-old?
Play the fucking hits
Us.
is the demographic. Yeah. Chris
Like, what
Beck and Nick
12-year-old
Weber is the demographic for that game. Are you kidding?
I'll accept that. That's fine.
They've been watching our show and they're like, yeah, what the fuck? let's give them something to talk about. We're going to be playing that day one of its release. I don't care how bad it is, and it's going to be bad.
You're gonna buy the Ultimate Edition.
I'm going to buy the Ultimate Edition. I'm going to get the DLC so that I can race Peggy against Bobby. I'll do it. I don't care. I want King of the Hill, like, lawnmower racers, like, just to be its own game.
Maybe it'll come out before or after Shredder's Revenge.
God damn, yeah. Like, by the time that comes out, like, I'm going to be the only one still interested.
Okay, now I seem to have forgotten how this part works.
I know you've done this loop a couple of times here, too. I'm
Well,
still enjoying the ride.
I thought I had to hit a switch, but I think it's going to be the old invisible platform situation.
You did hit some switches in your defense. Okay, so here's the problem, right? Is something to do with the lights or those little, like... No?
Nope, those are spikes.
Those are like floating squares thing? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like one of those things like there's an invisible floor and there's like a telltale sign.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's got to be like something to tell you where it is. Like maybe like glimmers in the moonlight for 2 frames or something. I don't know.
I don't think this game pulls the thing of you forgot a key item.
It seems to be pulling the thing of, hey, keep trying to not to die. Oh yeah, try shooting your arrows and seeing if you hit an invisible platform. No?
They wouldn't sink into a platform.
Interesting.
Oh, okay, or
just jump really far. That's cool.
It was just weird because the way it panned out, it felt like there was more to it than that.
Well, you know how we were talking about Uncharted a couple of weeks ago, which I still want to play, by the way. And it was like, there's a lot of parts in that game where you like look at the platforms and you're like, well, no, but I have to lower a bridge or something, and the solution is just fucking super jump it.
And become magnetically attracted to the
yeah. That's exactly right. No game is above that, I guess. It's all right.
Reminds me of all those times playing Assassin's Creed, and then like all of a sudden you just I'll never make it to that platform. No, I'll just become magnetically attracted to it. Okay.
Yep. This is the way. So Nick, are you reading anything good right now?
I actually just finished the very end of Isaac Asimov's 7-part Foundation series.
Oh, really? You ended up reading the whole series?
I did.
That's nice. How was it?
The first, what an enormous... No, I'm just kidding.
What a huge piece of shit. Fuck you, Isaac Asimov, and fucking intellectual approach to science fiction storytelling.
This is a part of my whole kick of still wanting to go back and reread all the classics.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, I think I skipped something in the storyline. I think she might have gotten brutally murdered because I didn't do something correctly.
We're getting the bad ending. Oh, shit.
Press F to end suffering.
You just hear a neck snap. Well, that sucked. But hey, you got an item. Sorry, okay. Go on, Asimov.
Last boss is, I think, in the next room, so I don't want to go there quite yet.
Can't you pick up her fucking sword?
Or do I? I don't... Okay, no, there's still a little bit more yet.
Yeah, let's fucking fight Dracula.
Right, so anyways, no, I liked it. I'm going back and, like I said, trying to read the older classics.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was rough. And I thought, okay, this is one of the first things he's ever written. I'm wondering if he was just kind of still finding his feet as a writer. And that thank God, that was absolutely the case. Because the second book is a lot better.
That's kind of how I'm feeling about the Stormlight Chronicles, or the Stormlight Archives.
Funny you should mention that, is I have the first edition of that on my iPod right now.
Oh, cool. Let me know what you think. I'm excited, because I really am liking the series.
It's 48 hours, and I just sat there and almost cried. I was like, I can't do this again.
It's 48 hours, and that's only the first book. I know. Well, and the problem is
a 10-part series, where only 4 parts are released.
Yep. Well, and here's the thing, though. Like, and this isn't going to sell you on it anymore. The first book, it's good. Like, there's some wonderful world building, but that is literally all it is. Like. Honestly, like 90% of that book is just establishing people and places and events that have already happened. And then like the last 10% of it is where the actual plot proper finally gets underway. Like all these things that they've been building up towards, and like some of the like actual character motivations start to be acted upon.
I feel like there's this misconception that sci-fi or fantasy needs to be ungodly long and overwrought. I mean, you look at your Wheel of Time, you look at your Game of Thrones, and I don't like it. See, the thing about Asimov's books were, if you didn't like it, it's a 10-hour commitment, and you're done.
That's good. There's something to be said for that.
And I appreciate that, but like going back and thinking about all 13 books of the Wheel of Time, is my life better for having read them all? No, not really.
But what powered me through the the first book was ultimately like I did get invested in the characters. So it's not like world building without anything actually interesting about the world that's being established. And then by the time the second book hit around, like I was actually invested and wanted to see where this was going, and he does pay off, like with some actual things happening much more quickly than in the first book. And I'm near the end of the second one now.
The second of 4, right?
Yeah, the 4 currently out, correct.
Okay, gotcha.
And again, like I said, it's a tough sell, for the exact reasons you just mentioned. But if you don't mind getting heavily invested into yet another fantasy world, this is a good fantasy world to get invested in.
It seems like the one. Like I said, I've got it. I'm gonna end up reading it, but ugh. I'm not even kidding when I say Wheel of Time ruined it for me.
Oh yeah, no, I understand that. What I would encourage you though is, if you're left with a bad taste in your mouth from the first one, at least do like the first couple of chapters of the second one. Because there's a lot of payoff, like almost right out of the gate, that the first one was lacking. Holy shit. Are those all just skulls? Are these just like bird skulls? Is that what I'm seeing?
I feel like they're doves or locusts. I'm trying to remember what, like, Super Nintendo boss this reminds me of. Like, only one of them is real.
You know what this fight is missing? Some massive boobies.
Yeah, this game was certainly concerned about endowments.
Or is that what the moon is supposed to represent in this fight?
See, now you're thinking too much.
The author of the game like immediately messages us. I'm glad that someone finally saw my vision. But anyways, so what I was gonna say is I'm listening to the Stormlight archives. And
oh, I think I figured it out. Okay.
And that's what's really keeping me on track with that, because sitting down and actually finding time when I'm exhausted to read a 1,000+ page novel is exceptionally difficult. So what I do is I like to, put it on in my car when I'm doing kind of like email responses at work. Yeah, exactly. Bike riding, and that's where I listen to it. The book that I'm actually physically reading is The Martian, which I know I'm like 5 years late to this ride, but I really like it. It's a fucking good book.
Yeah, that book keeps ending up on like all the top 20 lists that I read, so there's clearly something to it.
It's short, it's funny, it's a great adventure, and it kind of harkens, even though it gives you some like really surprisingly precise like scientific details about how a human being would survive in an emergency situation on Mars. It's weirdly a page turner. Like you keep wanting to find out like how he's going to solve the next problem, and the author pretty much rewards you with that information immediately, because it's not a 48-hour 1,000-page book. It's 250 pages. It's a short, succinct story, and
almost like a Philip K. Dick short story, then, right?
Almost, yeah. And I never thought I would think of 250 or 300 pages as a short story, but
I certainly did after Wheel of Time.
Oh, definitely. And you make your way through it so quickly. Like, I'm almost done with it, and I've been reading for a week. But it's fantastic. It's one of those books that's really easy to say, okay, just one more chapter, because the chapter's like 15 pages long, and you just want to know what happens next. But then they always just kind of leave you with that little dangly bit where you want to know what happens after that. And
one more page, right?
It's a genuinely fun read. Like, whereas I would say the Stormlight Chronicles, or why do I keep calling it Chronicles? The Stormlight Archive is definitely not for everybody. The Martian,
because you're confusing it with the King Killer Chronicles.
Yeah, mate. Or any fantasy series called Chronicles of whatever. But The Martian absolutely is for everybody. It's just a good, accessible, and enjoyable read. I can't recommend it highly enough. Especially if you need a palate cleanser after a long series.
Okay. There we go.
Good kill.
Problem solved.
Solid kill. Made her pay for her sins.
Okay, really hope there's a bell coming up, because I'm out of items.
It's okay, you still possess the mystical long jump. Not gonna risk that, huh?
There are too many spikes here for me to feel anywhere remotely safe.
Yep. I'm glad it's not one of those platformers, though, where she slides a slight bit after hitting the platform. You just drop and you stop. This is the way.
Like Mario feels like he's on a sheet of ice on Super Mario World.
You ever go from, like, well, like from the original, like Mario 1 to Super Mario World, like, in the same day? It'll mess with your brain.
Yeah, that's one thing that, was kind of surprising. You go back and you play 1, and it is super clunky.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're both great games, and 1 is still fun, even by modern standards. But boy, like, you think you know Mario, and it turns out there's been a surprising amount of variation in Mario. God, this world wants you dead. Holy no!
No! I don't want to go back down the elevator.
There's even more danger.
And then the thing is, I had to go right back up.
Oh no! Oh god, I'm so nervous. Oh my god! What is happening? Fuck this elevator!
I think...
Okay.
Okay.
Kill him. Do it. Oh, thank God. Oh my God. Where's the fucking bell? Where's the goddamn bell?
This little...
Oh,
this
I didn't
little
even
guy's gonna
see
kill
him.
me.
I didn't even see him. Oh, come on, bell. Why is it not? There's the bell. Oh, thank Jesus. Woo!
Whew.
I am impressed.
Okay.
And now you have a permanent warp point. So, Nick, are we close enough to the final boss that we should just finish it here, or...?
There's 2 things I gotta do first before I get to that point. I gotta look something up real quick.
We're only at 50 minutes, so I think if we go a little bit long, I'm not going to complain.
All right, let's see here.
Stream paused. Sit tight.
I need to look something up real quick.
Do it. I should have some reading prepared in the event that you need to look something up here. I'm going to read from the Holy Bible. Just completely alienate anybody else who manages to tune into our channel. Okay. From John 6. Jesus said to them, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me shall not hunger, and whoever believes in me shall never thirst. But I said to you that
missing an item.
we'll never know how it ends.
I read it a couple times. It was fine.
I'm trying to see if I can get us banned.
Boy, it's nice having a warp point. Oh, don't tell me. It's like right over here.
Well, that skeleton just took a fucking chunk out of you.
I cannot be bothered. Might be able to do this in 10 minutes.
I believe in you. So, Nick, when are we getting your ass back to Bloomington?
That's a valid question, Chris.
We need to feast on some seafood and play some vidyas.
Yeah, I like how that became a thing after they opened up a new seafood place after I got there last time.
Well, I'm not sure how new it is. I just think it's maybe I didn't know about it, because, like, I saw a bunch of people saying how much they loved it, and, yeah, like, how many people could have tried it if it's brand new? There's also a new place that does... are you familiar with the term cronuts?
I've heard of that.
It's... Oh, man. It's so dangerous.
It's like a deep-fried donut, right?
Well, yeah. Well, it is. It's a croissant prepared like a donut. And it's super, like, flaky and buttery and light, which makes you think that it's less of a calorie dump than it is. But, oh my goodness, is it good.
Huh.
So,
Okay.
one of those places just opened up here, and I'm thinking you have to try it.
Okay, I think the item I need is further up.
Well, you're at
hopefully.
96% map completion, so it can't be far, right?
There's not a lot of places it can be
right.
sitting.
There's not much left.
This inadvertently became 100% run.
Yeah, right. You know, with these kind of games, that happens. I love the, and I know they've been here literally the whole... Oh, there it is, up top, maybe? I know this...
yeah, there's one area I haven't traveled to up there yet. So.
I know this has literally been with us the whole game, but I love, like, the little gelatin blocks that she can springboard off of.
Not music note blocks?
Not music note blocks. They're pink gelatin. Why in Dracula's castle? Because fuck you, that's why.
Just needed something that clearly indicated you should jump on it.
Yep, that's right. And it does the job. Even though in real life, if I saw a block of Jell-O, I most certainly would not jump on it. Because I know that would ruin my shoes. You're almost there. You got this. I love the sad little ghost birds.
They do look miserable.
They do. Like, God.
Oh, this looks familiar now.
Someone end
yeah,
us.
because I fell into that trap. Okay.
Okay. So you've been here. You knew what you were doing. You just didn't do it.
There's just a lot of things that I had to do.
Yeah.
I don't have to kill him. I just need him out of my way.
That maple leaf has got some range. I am surprised.
That's what I need. That's the last item I'm looking for is the upgrade for it.
Oh, really? We're going like Super Canada?
It's just gonna turn green.
Oh. There we go.
Right here the entire time.
Sealed win.
All right.
We are.
So now we got to upgrade our leaf, and we got 2 bosses to tackle.
We've reached maximum Canada.
So an upgrade and 2 bosses, and I think we are done.
All right. This has been an enjoyable game. Thank you for turning me on to it.
Might not have streamed it the best, but you know, it's a delightful
You did it well.
game.
You did it well. Hello.
At least 60% of this stream for this game has been spent complaining about other forms of media.
Yeah,
so.
right. You really took Warner Brothers to task, actually, now that I think about it.
Well, that is the common link, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe it's just that you really don't like Time Warner very much.
Or maybe it's because I got an HBO subscription and I'm going through all my backlog.
There you go. Yeah, I did the same thing. I got it for this month because of Batman, and now I'm watching, well, probably actually a whole bunch of other Batman cartoons, which are surprisingly good compared to a lot of the movies.
Do they have the original Batman the animated series on there?
From the 90s, yeah.
I might have to thumb through a few of those.
I know, there's some really, like, classic episodes that I haven't seen in 30 years, and so when I watch them, it kind of takes me back to, like, the basement where my babysitter had all of the kids after school, and it was kind of like an indoor playground, but I would just like sit there and watch fucking Batman. It kind of took me back. I know that sentence began strangely. The basement where my babysitter...
I was wondering what you meant by that too. Yeah.
There's nothing funny about child abuse.
I thought I was gonna get
like, oh god,
an unnerving story.
Is Chris about to to reveal something?
There we go.
Oh, you did it. You've reached full Canada. It's not green. Oh, you're not done yet. There we go.
Okay.
Now it's green. Okay.
Got our upgrade. Now we're good.
Now you're maximum Canada.
And I need to take this out of my slot before I end up using more of those.
What the fuck is she waiting on? What does she think she's gonna get away with? She's seen what
she
you
was
can
told
do.
to wait there.
She knows
She's
you just
doing her
upgraded
job.
your leaf.
Alright, so now we're gonna go beat the optional boss, and then the final boss, and then we are done.
Excuse me, sir, do you have time to talk about Jews for Jesus? Oh. Yes, that was an airplane reference. Thank you.
That is an actual organization, isn't it?
Jews for Jesus? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so the joke I was making, you've seen the movie Airplane, correct?
No, I've seen bits and pieces. I almost said Liam Neeson. It's not Liam Neeson, is
No.
it?
Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie
Yes.
Nielsen. That's.
I was trying to think about what you were possibly trying to get at, and yes, yeah, he was a character in that movie. The joke that I'm referencing is like right at the beginning. Apparently, before you and I were ever born, there was a stereotype about airports where like security was so lax back in those days that literally anyone could just walk into an airport and like solicit passengers. Like, so there were like salesmen and everything, and apparently,
Oh, the Hare Krishnas used to do that a lot.
yeah, exactly, and so did like Buddhist monks and Jews for Jesus, and so that was the joke, was like they were trying to have a conversation, and like all these different religious groups were just like throwing pamphlets at them, and it's funnier if you see it.
I am trying to make my way through his older movies, and now you will have put that joke in context for me.
Yeah.
So thank you.
You're welcome. No, Airplane is absolutely one of the funniest movies ever made.
Pretty much everything that he was in was good. So.
Yeah, you know, he was just one of those actors who never really gave
Except
a bad.
Except maybe his goof movie on The Exorcist. You could take or leave that.
I don't
one.
remember that one.
Oh, I can't remember what it was called.
Hmm.
It was a thing, trust me.
But yeah, like there's a couple of older movies like that I still think are just some of the funniest ever made. And Airplane is one of them. Young Frankenstein is one of them. Three Amigos is one of them. I mean, The Jerk. Have you ever seen The Jerk?
I have not heard of that.
Oh, it's absolutely the best movie Steve Martin was ever in. I'm trying to think of like any other like classic comedies along that same vein that are still just 100% worth watching today, completely unironically, because the writing is just so good.
Come on, the Naked Gun series. You didn't even mention that.
Oh yeah, Naked. How did? Well, because I think I was already like trying to think of other ones besides Leslie Nielsen. But yeah, Naked Gun is excellent. What do you think ever happened to that black guy in the second one? What was his name? Orenthal?
Oh, now see, you're asking me something from a movie I only saw like 10 years ago.
That was an O.J. Simpson joke. I'm sorry. The joke was whatever happened to O.J. Simpson.
Did you know O.J. Simpson made an exercise video at one point?
Well, yeah. I mean, he was a professional football player.
I mean, yeah, but somewhere someone owns the VHS copy to like exercising with OJ.
Get juiced with OJ. Oh God, she started praying. You're about to get fucked. I feel like I missed that. What's Lord Esselin? Is that the final boss?
I'm assuming it's just your stand-in god for this universe.
Oh, okay. Uh-oh. She's about to go final form on you, isn't she?
You know, no, she's just dead.
Oh, she's just dead.
She was the optional boss.
Oh, I see.
I just wanted to see if I could still beat her after all these years.
Well, you did it. Good job.
Now we gotta climb up the Snake Eater ladder there.
I'm still... God, we gotta play Snake Eater. I keep forgetting about that.
So how many episodes do you think that would take?
Depends on how invested we get. Shit. Okay, I wanna not bite my tongue later. What I was going to say is that I could easily beat that game in a couple of hours. But I'm also thinking of I could easily beat that game in a couple of hours in 2004 when I was really good at that game and it's all I played. So let me give it a playthrough in 2022 and I'll refresh myself before making you watch me suffer through it.
Okay, fair enough. I think we've fallen into that trap on this channel numerous times of, oh yeah, I was really good at this 5 years ago.
Well, like if I had just played fucking Mega Man 0 or Mega Man X4, like even just a little bit before committing to play it on this channel, it could have been so much more enjoyable to watch.
I usually do a run through of a project that I'm doing ahead of time.
It's a damn good
Except-
idea.
Yeah, just to make sure that I'm proficient.
So I'll tell you what, I'll do that. I'll refresh myself on Metal Gear Solid 3 here. I'll figure out what the best, most accessible version is to play right now, which is probably the PS4 copy, which may actually be a PS3 game, but I
I
think...
keep forgetting that game keeps getting re-releases, but it never quite gets remastered.
No, well, weirdly enough, the only, like, real substantive changes to it were the the Nintendo 3DS version. Like, did you ever see that with that stupid little like side right stick add-on that you had to use for it?
No, but I believe you.
They literally released
that,
a little
Konami?
knob peripheral to add on to the side of your 3DS just to be able to play Snake Eater without like murdering your fingers.
Sounds horrible.
Well, it
I
does,
thought
but the
Square
game
Enix
itself.
owned,
The game itself actually ended up being really good because they made some quality of life improvements to it that actually were good. Like the ability to move while crouching. Which just seems like a no-brainer. And like, oh, of course you can do that. But no, in the original you could not.
I'd just like to point out that, again, Insanity mode for this game has no health bar, and I remember beating that with minimal difficulty.
Yeah, again, same problem. Like when you're actually into a game and you're dedicating your effort to it, you get really good. Then a couple of years pass and you still think, yeah, I'm awesome at this game until you boot it up.
I am assuming my brain had to make room for payroll.
And The Eye of the World.
Yeah. Think how many important things have been pushed out of my brain because that series had to be read.
Like dear childhood memories that you just go, what the fuck is that? And where are her
the
boobs?
Accursed Queen of Karst.
I don't see any boobs, Nick. You mean to tell me
Well, open up your internet browser then.
3 episodes in and the final boss of this game doesn't have big honkin' tatties? There better be a second form.
This is going a little too easily.
Or this game's getting like only a 4 out of 10. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say you're kicking ass. You haven't even used a health potion yet. Oh, going back way to the beginning of our conversation this evening, do you know when your PC is supposed to arrive?
Sometime within the period of about 2 weeks.
Oh, that's not bad at all. So they actually have all the parts in stock already. That's great.
They said they're getting them from a warehouse, but
Sweet.
who knows?
So
yeah,
it's possible that we could do
not
some
sure
Elden
days.
Ring in the near future.
That's my hope.
I would very much like to see that played by someone I enjoy speaking to and who will actually be able to beat the game, unlike myself.
I almost bought Sekiro on the Steam sale that's going on right now.
Oh yeah?
Almost.
Sekiro's it's just such a weird game for
Rogue's
me.
Legacy is going to take a while. I know that
Oh,
for
sure.
a fact. So
Sekiro's just so...
Rogue's Legacy is like Hollow Knight if you have different classes.
Ah, okay. God, I loved Hollow Knight. And weirdly, I loved Sekiro. I will never beat it or play it again, but I can see how awesome of a game it is and how completely inaccessible it is to me and how completely unable I am, no matter how hard I try, to progress it. Like, I have literally poured almost 10 hours into trying to beat the first stage, and
all
I
of them
can't do it.
fruitless.
Yeah, I just can't do it. But that weirdly enough, that in no way for me diminished, like, my impression of the game. Like, I can tell this is an awesome game. I'm just completely...
Yet you still hated Bloodborne.
Yeah, Bloodborne can suck a fat one for some reason. I'm just the complete wrong person to play Sekiro. Alright, here's the boobies. No boobies.
This is what you get. Oh my god! That was
Wiped
immediate
you
and instantaneous.
out. She just wiped you out. Why did that happen?
I must have hit something with low health.
She
All right.
hit the clear screen button is what happened. I like that. It went from this is going almost too easy to oh my god.
It's okay. I got this figured out.
Did that leaf upgrade also increase your bow's power, or just the leaf?
Nope. Just makes it slightly stronger in green.
Maximum Canada. Gotcha.
I don't know what we're doing here, but it's working out.
Yeah,
well
this
for
is
me.
going great. Eat it. Eat fresh. When's the last time you had Subway?
A few months ago.
Oh, really?
I have a Subway like a block from my house, so it's just
It's convenient
convenience
sometimes, yeah.
thing. No hit on the first form.
Yeah, nicely done. See, I'm the opposite. Subway isn't very big in Bloomington, and there's like a Jimmy John's and a Penn Station like that are closer to my house.
Yeah, it's not gonna be when you have those options available.
Right. So it's been a while, and I guess the meat of my question was, is Subway still even worth having?
I mean, for places without a Jimmy John's or a Quiznos. When was the last time you had Quiznos?
Probably when I lived in Defiance, actually.
Well, there's no Quiznos here in Defiance. That would've been
Oh, they
difficult.
closed that one.
Did they have one here?
Yeah, it was right by, remember when I worked for the Volunteer Connection? It was, like, the next building over. But that was
Really?
also more than a decade ago now, which I hate to think about.
Wow.
God, we are
I
so fucking
wonder how
old.
much. I wonder how much of Quiznos is left at this
I
point.
think Quiznos tanked. I'm not sure if they're even still a thing.
I think you're right. I think it went the way of Blockbuster.
Yeah. Also, rest in peace, Family Video, aka Blockbuster for the Midwest.
Yeah, that's gone as well.
Yeah. Well, and weirdly enough, it was already well on its way out when I moved to Bloomington, but the one in Bloomington was weirdly still active. That's the move that killed you.
Yep.
And so for a while when we first moved here, like Blockbuster, or not Blockbuster, I'm sorry, Family Video was like trying really hard to stay competitive with Netflix, and so like all of their rentals were dollar rentals. So that's just like what we did on weekends when we first moved here.
Yeah.
Just go to Family
Nice and
Video and yeah, like rent like two or
Kids'
three
movies were probably free.
Yeah, but I mean, it was before we had kids, so... Not that you have to have kids to watch kids' movies, but you know what I mean. But yeah, we like if there was something we were even remotely interested in, we would rent it and pay like $4 total. It was nice. It was nice how they died. I remember really distinctly when the PlayStation and the N64 came out, and the Napoleon Family Video like liquidated a bunch of their Super Nintendo games and just sold them. That was a really great weekend. That's probably my favorite Family Video memory. Sorry, I should shut up. You're in a pretty tight fight here.
I've got like one more hits.
Oh Jesus.
I'm gonna get to the last hit, and then I'm gonna choke.
I'm not
That's
saying
exactly
anything.
how
I'm not
this
saying
will
anything.
go.
Okay, free damage. Do it. Nice. Well done.
I was really expecting to choke on the last hit. You know, just go 90% of the fight without a single hit, and then all of a sudden, I'll
Like
take all
that
the
round
hits.
against Sigma where I almost had him and then I just killed myself in that corner.
And then everything fell apart.
Yep, all at once. I had an energy tank. I had everything going for me. Anyways, but yeah, no. So that weekend in Family Video where they like sold all of their Super Nintendo games, that was a good time.
Yeah, it's always fun to go to those store liquidations. You never know what you're gonna pick up.
Mm-hmm. Well, and especially
I think I got Super Metroid from a Family Video liquidation.
oh,
in
nice.
fact.
See, for me, it
I
was
mean-
great because in Napoleon, Ohio, like no one played RPGs, so I got Lufia 2. I got that's where I actually picked up my copy of Final Fantasy 2/4. There was one other one that I got too. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, the SNES version?
Mm-hmm. Wait, what?
The SNES version of Final Fantasy 2.
Yeah, like the original American version.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I believe I have that as well, though I can't quite place where I got that
Yeah. I
from.
mean, I still have it here on my shelf. I never
I
touch it because there's better versions of it out, but
Well, yeah, I think I own no less than 7 different versions of that.
FF4 is like my poison, man. No matter how many times it gets re-released, I always come back.
It's long enough to where you can spend 15 hours, play through it to completion, and be like, "All right,
And
well,
you know,
that
like
itch has
you're
been
exactly
scratched."
right. Like 15 hours, and it's like, oh, hey, look, they changed Golbez's sprite a little bit.
That was worth it, right?
Yeah, that was
Maybe.
worth $20. Oh,
It did take like 10 playthroughs to figure out, like, oh, this was Golbez's plan to unleash this giant whatever.
yeah, they hinted at that all along, right? No, they didn't. Anyways, so yeah, family
So,
video, good times.
so that's Momodora.
Yeah, thank you for this.
But 3 episodes, not quite 2 like I promised, but
That's all right.
you know.
We need
Like
to
I
play
said,
more like shorter, like one-off games or just like random shit.
solid little tiny developer side scroller. So,
Did I tell you what I want to do for our summer series? By the way,
what's that?
I want to do like summer jobs, like games that are built around like a job simulator, but
You're just gonna use this as an excuse to play Shenmue, aren't you?
no. Max and I already did Shenmue. I'm gonna use it as an excuse to play 2 particular games with you that I think are gonna be kind of hilarious. The first one is I have like a whole story arc built up in my mind. We're gonna start off with Power Wash Simulator. When that doesn't work out, we're gonna move to Thief Simulator, and then finally Prison Simulator.
I think I have Thief Simulator. I will be interested to see what that's like.
Perfect. That'll be perfect.
Those will be neat little one-offs.
Yeah, I think so. That's gonna be a fun summer series.
You can throw the convenience store in there as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, but there's all kinds of stuff we could do, but we'll talk about it more. Nick, thank you for Momodora. I always enjoy when you introduce me to these nice indie games. And yeah, thank you.
You're not gonna wait till we scroll through the Patreon list, which I swear was added in a later update because I don't remember this.
Come on, man. GG Vincent. It wouldn't have been possible without her/him.
Hey, it's the James Darling.
Like Wendy's father?
Yeah,
Huh.
well, probably not, but
Well, but I mean, at least he's named after him, right? You don't.
I mean,
you don't
Mel
name
Gibson
someone.
apparently
Mel Gibson
donated.
was
so.
heavily into Momodora.
When they couldn't quite get the game, you know, at 90% completion, Mel Gibson really kind of came in at the clinch.
There's 2 things that Mel Gibson is deeply passionate about: anti-Semitism and retro-inspired Metroidvanias. those are Mel Gibson's 2 passion projects.
It was a part of his community service after he got pulled over.
Right. All right, man. Well, hey, thanks again, and we will see you next time on Play the Hits.